Hi there, this is Tets of Tets Toys and Shenanigans, and I'm just going to do a quick review of my little Stider Hiryu action figure. I picked this up a long time ago. I think it came out about the same time as Marvel vs. Capcom 1 came out for the Dreamcast. And Stider was the main reason that I bought that game. I loved the original arcade game made by Capcom back in the day, and I spent many a 20 or 40 cents or whatever it was back in those days, slashing my way through hordes of Russian soldiers, somersaulting all over the place and climbing up things like there was no tomorrow. And I was kind of sad that there was a Stider 2 on the Mega Drive, but it wasn't all that great. And I found out a few years later that there was, or when the PlayStation came out, there was a Stider sequel Stider made for just the PlayStation, which didn't really do me much good because I was on a Sega Saturn at the time. And as far as I'm aware, the game only actually came out in America anyway. Possibly Japan, but it didn't come out in the PAL side of things. So that made me a bit sad. So when I saw that Stider was in Marvel vs. Capcom, I zipped out and I got into Marvel vs. Capcom, and that's kind of what led me down the Street Fighter path of love that I have today. This Stider is came in a 2-pack, if I remember correctly. It was a long time ago, so I'm kind of stretching it here. And I have this weird feeling that it actually came with Cyclops, which I'm not too sure, but I don't think Cyclops was actually in Marvel vs. Capcom 1. So I'm not entirely sure how that came about. But yeah, the Cyclops was rather cool. It had kind of blobby piece of pink plastic that was his optic blast, and a fabric leather jacket that you could take on and off. Unfortunately, his chest broke in half and he was a bit useless towards the end. And at the time, I didn't appreciate him that much, so I didn't bother gluing him back together and must have thrown him out. But I did keep my Stider, and Stider has been looked after all this time. As you can see, it's based on the Marvel vs. Capcom design, which is I think comes from the second game, which I eventually got a copy of, but haven't really played it that much because it's not quite as much fun as the first game, I think. He has a long scarf on the back, which is a solid piece of plastic. He comes with his sword, which I can't remember the name of right now, which fits in his hand, and you can have him hold it straight up this way, or you can flip it around, and you can even have it pointing around on the top, so it's quite good. And yes, so this figure comes with an action feature, which you activate by wiggling his waist around, and the idea is his arm flicks around so he can use his sword. Oh yeah, isn't that awesome? It's a little bit dangerous to me. I don't know whether that's really cool. All I do know is that, you know, gets rid of any waist movement that he has. Gets rid of any waist movement that he has, and also limits his arm movement, so I would rather it were without, to be honest. This other arm has nothing, it's just a normal posy pose. He's got some good ankle movement, so you can put him in a classic, move that arm back, get that out of the way, classic Stider stance. Ooh. It leans forward a little bit more. This toy is very odd, so there's a slight bit of discoloration on his groin, just on here, it's a little bit darker. The belt is a freestanding piece and floats around. It does have a little crack, so I suspect I could probably go about taking this off now. I do quite like the sort of cummerbund design that he's got here, and the nicely painted kanji on his chest for tobu, meaning to fly in Japanese. It's nice to see that we've got these little details as well on his shoulder there with the braces. Yes, I also quite like the sculpting on his neck scarf. So we get some focus on there. There we go, which is pretty good, and it matches up pretty well with his actual face scar. Overall, it's a pretty well sculpted toy. And have a little look, he's even got pupils in there. Nice head. The hair is the proper size, or proper shape that it should be. Because even in his not 16-bit days, even from the first game, he had kind of back spiky hair, a little bit similar to Sonic's. This hard scarf, deliberately flowing in the wind, as Strider's scarf should be, can come off. And there's a little surprise in the back. This backpack here actually holds his climbing sickle, which I think is pretty cool. And you can open that baby up. And for those sharp-eyed viewers out there who have actually played as Strider in any of the games will know that this is what he uses to hang onto the walls with. I can get into his hand. There we go. So he uses this to hook in, and he sword slashes with the opposite arm. Whoops, uses that. There we go. That fits in, not fats in. And you can move it around. It's pretty cool. I do like the fact that that was included because it wasn't necessary. You can't, however, really kind of put the sword in his back, which is from the original game. He did have the sword here, and you could, if you paused it enough, you could kind of see him reaching over to grab his sword out when he went to slash it. But still, you know, I'm quite happy, considering how it isn't the original Strider. I'm quite happy for him to live with this sword, ready for action by his side in tongue for styling mood, and for the sickle to live in the backpack. Or better yet, yeah. So it's a pretty cool little toy. It's fairly simple. He's got like pretty good leg movement and fantastic ankle movement. Only problem is he's got only joints that are all hinges, not swivels, so except for in his shoulders, so you're not going to get sort of any great posing out of the guy unless he's standing up. I guess, you know, something like that. And plus the action feature gets in the way of him sort of doing any really good stuff. This is a completely free hinge for the forearm, so it's only the shoulder there that's connected in. But you know, with the flowing scarf, you can have him kind of zipping along quite happily. Awesome pose there, Tets. Awesome pose. Yes, and even the details on his little sword, which on mine's a little bit dense, pretty good. So they got the little red lining, and there you've got lots of nice kind of leathery details and two handles there, little lines. Fairly, actually, it's a damn fine representation. Thank you. Damn fine representation of his sword, which I think might be called Aurora Boreas or something like this. And so there we go. Thus concludes my mini review. Hopefully I can edit the bits because I got interrupted quite a bit there. of Stider Hiryu in all his cheap video game. Ooh, action figure glory. Look towards the future, Stider. Should really like to get a real kind of deluxe one where he comes with the robot saber-toothed tiger and the eagle thing, and a super duper hang glider thing that he flies in on. That would be cool. So, thanks for watching.